what have we learnt as a result of these last 34 episodes of the Big Idea Podcast?
Good question.
There must be something, I'm sure. Hey everybody, it's John Lamberton here, alongside my good friend and business partner, Mr. Jason Brockman. We're here for another episode of the Big Idea Podcast, where, as always, it is our job to help you get more customers and make more money without working harder. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into this month's episode. Hi everybody, welcome to episode 34 of the Big Idea Podcast. It's January, stick a fork in 2017, it is done. We are here. Happy New Year, everybody. Are we going to sing Auld Lang Syne today?
That was yesterday.
Yeah. So, here we are. It's a brand new year. And it's a bit of a milestone for us. Because I was thinking about this earlier. Mm-hmm. And technically, this is our third year of podcasting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's monumental.
Yes. We started in the last week of 2016.
Right.
We did all of 2017. And it's now
to the third year,
the first week of 2018. So there we go. We are now in our third year of podcasting.
It's amazing.
Ever the market.
Time's flying so fast. It's unbelievable.
I know, it doesn't seem that long, does it? 34 episodes in
3
years. Yeah.
We're busy doing those weekly podcasts.
Yeah, if you go back to the first couple of episodes where we talk about, hey, we're going to do this every single week. Yeah. Okay. So in today's episode, it's a bit of it's a best of, not a best of, because we haven't done enough good stuff to have a best of. We're going to review the year. We're going to look back at 2017. We're going to look back at our highlights, all the good stuff we had, our key takeaways, our key lessons that we've picked up throughout the year. We're going to look forward to 2018 as well. What we've got planned, what we think is going to happen. We're going to look back over these last 3 years of podcasting that we've done in the last 12 months. And I'm going to pick out my book of the year.
Book of the year?
Book of the year, yeah. So we always do a book of the month, but I thought as it's that time of year where everyone does their best ofs, I thought I'm going to pick out my best book from 2017.
Okay.
Which is a bit difficult because I have got a list of 5.
Okay.
To choose from. So I will randomly choose one.
Randomly?
I've got an asterisk next to one, which I think I'm going to go for.
Right, okay.
But yeah.
If there's any on there that you think, I might have already, then...
no, you'll have your own on your own list, won't you?
Yeah, but it might be a crossover.
Yeah. You might have actually read some of the ones that are on your list. Not that I'm saying.
Or listen to them.
Cool. Of course, yes, you can listen to them as well. So let's start off with our review of the year. So let's look back over the whole of the last year, 2017. What a year it's been. What is your key takeaway? What's the one thing that you think, do you know what, I've learned that in 2017?
Well, mine really is that you kind of have to give to receive.
Okay.
I think that's the one. We've used it quite a lot during the year. We've not used it in terms of plan to do that, but actually it's just happened. The whatever that word is.
Reciprocation?
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
So using it, that is really fantastic. So we've kind of used that at the book launch. We've kind of given lots of value to lots of people and lots of things, and the book launch went very well, and lots of people left good reviews and things. So we kind of gave lots of stuff there. But we've done it all the way through. Building up our ALB is all about us giving value throughout the year. Then that get transferred to our 1% club. So it's all about giving. We have to give to receive, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Thank you very much.
I think we talk about it a lot, and certain people within our circle, and certainly within the 1% club, that do this very, very well, and they're very good at giving away some value. Others see, well, I can't give away my best stuff. That costs me money. This is what my expertise is. But by giving away that little bit of value, you demonstrate your value to the market. And I'd say with the book launch in particular, we hired a room, we put on a free live event, we did live Q&As, we gave a free copy of the book to everyone who came, we fed them, we watered them, we gave them, Prosecco, we gave them beer, we laid on the one sunny day of the year, If you remember, because we literally ran out of time on the sun because the fog came in at about 9 p.m, didn't it? We finished the live event. We had the afternoon's network, and it was fantastic. We were out on the balcony of a yacht club overlooking the sea, shorts, t-shirts, fantastic. By 9 p.m, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
No, it was time to go home. It was good. It was a natural close to the day.
By giving that value to a lot of people who, to be fair, didn't know us from Adam before we started, by giving that little bit of value out there, when it came to actually launching the book and saying, right, I want you to go out and buy the book, I want you to go and leave a review on Amazon, I want you to join up for 1% Club. These things happened because we gave that little bit of value. We gave first. So I like that. It's a very good one, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
It's almost like you've had some time to think about it.
I've considered it. It's very good.
So my takeaway is actually a little bit similar.
Is it?
And it's the value of networking. Because I think that's, certainly for me, that's the one thing that I've focused on this year in 2017 that I haven't focused on before. We've all heard the saying, your network is your net worth, and the more you grow the people around you and surround yourself with the right kind of people, the more successful you're going to be. Well, I think this is the first year we've actively gone out, certainly locally, and networked and gone out and said, right, we are going to do nothing other than make friends with people who are within our sphere of influence, people we want to work with, people we want to associate with, people we want to learn from. And to the point whereby I've flown to Manchester and just to have lunch with someone who I want to be in my network. I've made sure to keep in touch with people on the phone who I want to associate with. I've gone to events. I've sought certain people out. It's like, actually, if you want to elevate yourself, they'll find someone who's 3 years on further down the road than where you are, and just make friends with them. And I think we've really, really seen the value of that. Now, networking isn't something you can just go to a networking event and get an instant return on investment. And I remember going to our first few thinking, this is a waste of time. What are we doing here? Chatting to these guys who don't do what we do. They don't really understand what we do. We're wasting our time. But it's only by going to them again and again and again and building up those relationships with people that you think, actually, that guy knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. Actually, we get recommendations now. So, those people who are now in our network, they're out there now bringing other people into our network. They're doing referrals for us. We've just opened up the doors to the January intake of the 1% Club. And as a result of the networking we've done, at least 2 or 3 of the latest intake have been brought in by people that I didn't know 12 months ago that I met via networking. So they are now part of the network. And it's like, that's really good because we can help grow their business. They actually are helping to grow our business because it's mutually beneficial. And I think that's certainly where we're going to be heading in 2018. We've got a couple of joint ventures that we're launching, a couple of new businesses, and that's come from our network again. It's come from finding people who are really, really good at what they do. And where there's a mutually beneficial opportunity for us to work together, then it makes absolutely perfect sense to do that. But without actually laying the foundations of building the network and consciously thinking about who's in my network, how can I better my network? Some people may need to go from that network if they're low value, whereas others, I may be looking out saying, this guy's worth $27 million. He needs to be in my network. How the hell do I get that guy in my network? That's I think where my plan's going to go for next year. So networking and giving value. 2 key takeaways from 2017. So we touched on mine just now, but I'll be interested here. What was your favourite moment or your proudest moment of 2017? What did you enjoy most about this year?
I think it's been several things, to be fair. It's been not a too horrible year, I guess, from being kind of proud. from a business point of view, I think it's watching some of our 1%ers who take our advice, listen to it, and actually action it, and are getting results. That for me is like go dust. That's brilliant. That's kind of like that bit that melts your heart, kind of thing. It's like yes, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
As you all know, I do stuff for Cancer Research UK. So being nominated in Plymouth for the fundraiser of the year, that was great in itself.
Oh, you were just nominated, were you?
Winning it was mind-blowing. Yeah, winning it was mind-blowing. That's a super proud moment. And for Cancer Research themselves to invite me to the House of Lords to recognise the contributions that I've made to them, some £150,000 over the last 3 years. That was also a sterling moment too. So, yeah, I've had quite a bit from that side. And, yeah, business-wise, it's just helping people. That's what I love to do. And every time I do that and it works out, makes you feel good.
Yeah. No, it was really good because we, when we opened the doors for the January intake, we put up a post in AOB, just inviting people in and saying, hey, it's open, come along. And all of a sudden we then had lots of current 1%ers telling everyone else how wonderful it was. It's like, that was brilliant. Just to see story after story of, well, I did this. And, just again to be clear, we're not doing any of the work here, are we?
Nope.
We're just doing the easy part and sitting here saying, oh, I know what you should do. You should do X, Y, and Z. These guys are still going out and doing the work, but to see the results they're getting, busiest. I was at the busiest Black Friday ever. The following Christmas Day.
Christmas Day was exactly the same. Yeah.
Christmas Day was the second biggest retail day of the year for two of our 1%ers. Both said the same thing, and there's an interesting trend there. I think it is now accepted that on Christmas Day, once you've got all of your presents, if you didn't get what you wanted, out comes the phone. And you can just order what you want yourself.
And they're all on sale, aren't they? So that's good. That sales have started and things. So yeah,
but that's an interesting trend to see. That's where people are going. But just to see, again, tale after tale of, oh my God, what the 1% Club has done for people. It's phenomenal. It does, like you say, it melts your heart. It just makes you feel all nice inside.
For me, Nick, this year coming is growing that network. For me, to be honest with you, that is the plan. We as you said, we've already started that this year, and I think that's important. People do business with people, and without the relationships, no one drives forward. So it's a case of that for me really as well. So I'm up with you,
definitely. So and House of Lords as well. House of Lords, up on stage at the Crown Plaza in Plymouth, getting your fundraiser of the year.
I know.
In Plymouth, having raised 150,000 for Cancer Research. It's not bad, is it?
It isn't bad. It isn't bad. It's good, and But for all the that kind of accolade and stuff like that, it's great. And don't get me wrong, I don't feel horrible about receiving it. Never really wanted to, because people who do things don't really want the limelight and stuff. So to kind of get that, but. For me, my proudest moment from the work with Cancer Research was during the kind of relay, which is a 24-hour thing we did at 10 o'clock at night. We did a world record attempt to have the most number of people doing a fitness thing. It was club size, one of the the fitness things that goes on. So I had over 200 people there. Needed just a few more, unfortunately. We were just a little bit short. But just at 10 o'clock, there's all these people with neon glow sticks and things, all about to start the intro going and the gentle warm-up starting off. And then the heavens opened. And for 30 minutes of this class, which they had to do, they all stayed and did this club size in the pouring rain, 10 o'clock at night, on a Saturday night. And actually, hardly any of those people would be doing, 1, a fitness class, 2, being out dancing, 3, doing it in the rain, 4, on a Saturday night. And that's all because I'd asked them, and that kind of leads me a little bit later. And I think one of the books that I have is on my list, is one of those reasons I want to do that. So I'll leave that one, park that one there for a minute. But that's my proudest moment. And that's why I do what I do, really.
Do you think that the recognition you've had this year with the House of Lords, with the fundraiser of the year, that raises your profile and makes building your network easier? So actually, if you want to bring someone in to relay next year, corporate partner, or you want to get a venue somewhere, does that open those doors a little bit easier for you now?
Absolutely, absolutely will do. It's, as I say, profile is raised, and therefore, the same as you've written a book, and you written a book. You did, didn't you?
I might have mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah, so you've done that, and that's raised your profile, and people go, oh yeah, that's you, and tie the two together, and that's what my hope for this year is, actually working out ways of. Not exploiting it, but you know what I mean. Capitalising on that investment.
Moment, I had a warm moment, not nothing to do with the Christmas successes.
Was that the ice outside? When you slipped, right. Did you have a warm moment then? Was that?
But it was. I was tagged in a post on Facebook this morning about podcasting, and this lady said, "Oh yeah, I've read his book, so I must listen to his podcast because I think I'll like that." It's like brilliant. Someone I knew nothing about, never met this lady, never spoken to her, anything like that, but. Somehow she's come across the book, she's read the book, enjoyed it. Oh, I must listen to the podcast. It's just a warm feeling that actually, so it does raise that profile of she feels that she knows me because she's read the book. Amazing. So, should we talk resolutions?
Resolutions.
Have you got a resolution?
Sound like the end
for
of it.
2018?
I've got a few ideas that I've kind of been brimming on.
Ideas?
I have,
okay.
yeah.
So
I haven't nailed it yet.
Nothing you're going to know your colours to the mass and say,
well, I am, yes, because
I've
said I want to build more relationships, and I've already written that down before we talked about it in our last section, so that's very good. I want to be a little bit more healthier.
A little bit?
I would, yeah.
That doesn't sound very defined.
A little bit more happier.
Okay.
And, a foreign holiday, taking the kids and the family, which I've not ventured out with them before.
Healthy, happy and wise. I couldn't possibly be any wise. Healthy, happy, foreign holiday.
To be honest, I've had 2 mugs this year for Christmas. 2 completely different people in the kind of my family and stuff, and both of them was about if you've got something, then ask Jason, because #Jason's wiser or something like that. And it's like no, so I've done the wise. That's okay. Good. So I've got all those bits sorted out. Could be wiser, but I'm happy wherever that is. For next year, there's no point, next year there's the other thing. So
cool.
But haven't nailed down the specifics.
Okay.
But that's what I'd rather like to be. A little bit more healthy. A little bit more happy.
We need to put a little bit of meat on that bone.
But I do want to take the kids and stuff, because with issues have meant we haven't taken them before to a foreign holiday, and I want to do that this year for them. So so that's the definitive thing that we're going to look at definitely doing. But the other ones are all kind of build me up, buttercup.
Yeah, that's my only concern.
Don't make me cry.
You're a little bit vague there.
No.
What, you want to be a little bit happier, a little bit healthier,
and a little bit healthier.
And a foreign holiday. So the foreign holiday, where exactly is that going to be? When exactly is that going to be?
No idea.
Is it a beach holiday? Is it up a mountain? Is it water parks?
No idea.
Is it? You need to clarify that a little bit.
Over the Tamar.
That's Cornwall. Cornwall does not class as a foreign holiday.
Don't tell the kids that.
Take them to the Isles of Scilly, mate. You have to fly there.
Oh, okay. That's good. Canoe? That's Nick about his canoe.
But I mean, the certainly the little bit happier, little bit healthier, that really, to me, needs defining.
It does, doesn't it?
Because otherwise, how do you know if you've achieved it or not?
Because I'll feel a little bit happier, a little bit
but you won't remember 12 months now. You won't remember.
Well, I'll look back on our podcast and think out,
Also, how will you know? How will you know that you are healthier? How will you know that you are happier?
I will feel it.
Okay.
That's why I said I would like to feel a little bit more happier and feel a little bit more healthier.
Okay. For the listeners at home, if you're making resolutions, please be specific about them. Please don't have vague ones like this guy.
Please don't be Jason.
You never know whether you're going to actually achieve them or not, because you're probably going to give up mid-January or certainly by early February anyway. And the more vague they are, the more likely that you're going to give up.
Too. I want to be happy in March and April and May. That'd be lovely.
Okay.
Go on then, John. Here's your definitive list of resolutions 101 from John Lamberton.
My resolution for 2018 is to play more golf.
Play more golf.
Which is very easy to define because I didn't play any last year. So basically, if I play one round of golf, then I've achieved my goal. But my plan is to play, I would say, all right, let's nail a number. Let's say I'm going to play 6 rounds of golf in the calendar year.
One every other month.
One every other month. Well, not every month, because I probably won't be playing in January, February or March. It will be in the summer months. So perhaps once a month in the summer. That would be good. But this ties into the growing my network thing that I talked about just now, because this came from a conversation that we had at the football last weekend, when again we were building a network, bringing someone new into the network who can help us, who can introduce us to other people, who can work with some of the property stuff we've got going on. And he said, I'm keen to reciprocate. He said that, didn't he?
He did.
Which goes back to your reciprocation.
Yep.
He said, I'm keen to reciprocate. We've got a corporate golf day in May or April. Do you play golf? And we both kind of went, well, not really. And he went, oh, that's a shame. Oh, it would be nice to get you along. And then it dawned on me that was, I think, the 4th time I've been asked this year, do you play golf? And I always give the same. I said, well, not really, because I had a shoulder injury. I planned on taking up golf a couple of years ago, then got a shoulder injury, couldn't play for at least a year. Went to the driving range this year, found that still got shoulder issues. I think the shoulder's fine now. I think it'll hold out. But yeah, 4 times this year, someone has said to me, do you play golf? And I've answered, no, not really. And of those 4 people, how many of them are in my close network? None. How many of them have we actually done any business with? None of them. How many of them would I do business with if I'd answered, yes, I play golf. Do you want to play around sometime? They'd probably be in my very close network now, because people want to work with people who are like them. So if I say to you, are you into football? No, not really. Oh, well, that's killed that conversation, then, hasn't it? And it's very similar to the golf thing. What they're looking for is, are you like me? Do you like playing golf? Because I love playing golf. And if the answer they get is, no, not really, they're like, oh, okay. And I'll just ask the next person. So for me, that's the key thing that actually, when I've played golf, I've enjoyed it. So it will make me healthier. It will make me happier.
Are we going golf soon, are we, John? When are we starting golf?
I'm just saying this could help your goals too. That's all.
I totally agree with you. I used to enjoy playing golf. I played golf quite a bit in the past.
But it can also help the business. So it can help me
well.
personally. It can help the business, and it will help grow my network. I know that, and that's my ulterior motive for doing something that on the face of it is slacking off. Apologies to any golfers out there. I'm trying my best not to alienate golfers.
Is that why they wear slacks?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Could be.
Really good. Well, that's easy, mate. You've got a nice easy one, and you play more golf.
Nice
more than
easy.
zero.
It's not nice and easy. It requires physical therapy. My shoulder needs to be able to hold up to this.
Yeah, but just turning up at the golf course count.
Just do the 19th hole, you mean?
Yeah. I'll load the bags at the beginning, at the end, so that you don't have to carry them all the way around. You just take your club around with you.
I like it. 4!
No, I'm not going to carry the bag. That's like more hard work than playing.
Sounds like it. Cool. So yeah, a year of podcasting. We've done it. We've done 12 whole months of podcasting and about a week and a half, which
You said 3 years.
that's what's leading into the 3 years.
Okay.
I'm a marketer. I manipulate these things to manipulate the truth to suit my means.
Yeah.
So yeah, now entering our 3rd year of podcasting after just over 12 months. So what have we learnt as a result of these last 34 episodes of the Big Idea podcast?
Good question.
There must be something, I'm sure. Why are we still here?
Well, I think our biggest lesson or takeaway or whatever you like from the podcasts is to follow some of our own advice in our own businesses.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say, really.
Okay. So you think we've been dispensing advice here and then thought, oh, that's a good idea. We should do that.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, to a certain degree. I mean, take podcasts for example, and that's a good example, because we kind of like said we're going to do this podcast, we're going to get it on iTunes, we're going to get lots of people listening, we're going to, everyone's on doing podcasts and stuff like that. Well, we found during doing these podcasts that not everybody is on the podcasts, are they? Yeah. And although we already started on Facebook and we do our live video recording of the podcast on Facebook, and we put it all on our Ambitious Lifestyle Business group on Facebook, we kind of realised actually that's somewhere our audience is. So we've had far more success on Facebook with our podcast that was made for iTunes than we have actually had on the podcast side of things.
Yeah.
So it takes us to our market message media, which we kind of go through to absolutely everybody that we want to do. So it's just finding that right media for the message that we have. We have the right message, that's clear and abundant because it's out there and everyone's using it and learning from it and doing it. Obviously the marketplace we've defined quite well, but what we didn't do at the beginning really was discover the media when we did that, and that was because we thought podcast is the place to be, we've got to do a podcast. And I know we speak to lots of our clients both in 1% Club and through Ambitious Left Our Business, that actually they go, I must do Facebook ads because everyone's doing Facebook ads, I've got to do Facebook ads. And we kind of fell into that trap when we decided to do podcasts really. And I think our biggest takeaway is following some of our own advice and actually working that through at the beginning.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also iterating that the business model has to constantly evolve. The business we started 17 years ago, it's 18 years ago now, it's unrecognisable from the business we have today. The business that we had 2 years ago is very different to the one we got today. The business we will have in 2 years' time will be very different from what it is today. We launched a podcast in December 2016, which had a Facebook group. It's now almost a Facebook group that has a podcast. If you can see the distinction between those, that's come through on the audio, I don't know, but it's kind of, for us, the Facebook group was an add-on to the podcast. The podcast was what we did when we first went out networking. We said, hi, we're John and Jason, we're podcasters. Cue blank faces. What's one of those then? It's a podcast. It's like a radio show. You listen to it on your phone. Oh, how do I do that then? And I think after about 20 of those conversations, we realised that the general public don't tend to listen to podcasts as much as we thought they did. Because we listen to them, and all of our network listen to them. We therefore thought the general public all listen to podcasts. All business owners listen to podcasts. No, they don't. And it's falling into that trap of you are not your customer. Because it's so easy to say, well, I listen to podcasts, you listen to podcasts, Rob listens to podcasts, 27 people I know listen to podcasts, therefore all small business owners listen to podcasts. As we found out from actually talking to other small business owners, it's not the case at all. We can, one of the best bits of advice I was given after starting the podcast was, you don't just launch a podcast and get hundreds of thousands of people downloading it. You don't suddenly become Tim Ferriss or Pat Flynn overnight. I was listening to an interview with Pat Flynn the other day, and he was saying that after 3 years or something, he nearly gave up because he just wasn't working, he wasn't getting there. Now all of a sudden he's one of the top podcasters. He's commanding massive, speaking roles and everything like that. But that's as a result of the near 300 episodes that he's done, because he persevered. And I think that's the key thing we've done, is we are still here. After a year, we have shown that little perseverance, because it would have been very, very easy for us to have said 6 months in, or even 3 months in, well, this isn't really working, is it? We're not getting the numbers we thought we were going to get. Therefore, it's too much like hard work. What we did instead was we iterated. We said, okay, Facebook seems to be taking off here. Let's devote more time to the Facebook group. Let's change the podcast. Let's make it so it's not a weekly show whereby we're very, very labour intensive, planning it out every single week. We were putting probably half a day a week into creating a show that 30 people were listening to. As opposed to, we could do something on Facebook whereby we put 20 minutes into it and we get 200 people downloading that content. So it's like, actually, okay, that's getting us more bang for our buck. And we're always talking about what gets you the biggest bang for your buck. For us, that was the Facebook group. So we're never going to, well, I don't say never, but at the moment we have no plans to give up on the podcast format, but primarily, I'll be honest with you, it's content for our Facebook group. We're recording this right now live in our Facebook group. It will then go out to iTunes, it will then go out to Stitcher, it will then go out to SoundCloud, it will go on YouTube. We will repurpose that content. But whereas it was, in the early days, it was we recorded the podcast, which we gave to the Facebook group as a bonus. It's now we record it for the Facebook group and we give it to iTunes as a bonus, because of no other reason than the majority of our audience are on Facebook. And it's going where the market is.
And if you guys want to join us on Facebook, you can find it at bigidea.co.uk/Facebook. That's the Ambitious Lifestyle Business Group. Come and join the lots of people that are in there, that are all of the like minds.
Yep, I think we've got about 800 people in the group now. Fantastic little community. So we do the podcast live in there, so you can actually see us as well as listen to us, which is amazing. That people would prefer to watch us than listen to us. I think, nothing says face for radio more than us two, does it? Book of the month, mate. Let's. I've got a funny feeling you might have listened.
I have.
To last month's book of the month.
I have.
Brilliant.
What was it?
It was They Ask You Answer.
That's it, yes,
by Marcus Sheridan.
Marcus Sheridan. Yeah.
I actually listened to it twice. It was that good.
I listened to it once.
Okay.
Which is good.
Yeah. How did you find it then?
I loved it.
Brilliant. It was
I think
really
it's
good.
such a
wasn't
simple concept, which so many business ideas are really simple concept that you can take and you can deploy and you can do, and taking the action is an easy one with this one. I think it's the concept of your customers are asking questions online and you answering them in terms of content, whatever that content may be, is a no-brainer, isn't it? It's something that you've probably thought of several times. I know we have, certainly within loads of our businesses in different sectors and all the rest of it. But it's such a simple concept which works, and it certainly works with the examples that he kind of gives. And I think the bigger lesson that maybe apart from the actual concept, the bigger lesson there is actually being able to identify that this guy's writing a book about this concept with his business, which was about building pools in people's back gardens. But you can tap into absolutely every sector, and we say it so many times to the 1%ers and our ALB and all the rest of it. It's actually these general business tips and tricks and all of those things that we kind of give out all of the times. They can be applied across all of your businesses, and that's the plan really.
Yeah, it's so easy to just shut off, isn't it, and say, well,
it's about pools. I don't do pools.
I don't sell pools.
I don't sell things for $50,000. I don't sell things for $150,000. That's not me.
That's it. I sell $7 widgets. Well, okay. Just sit down, blank bit of paper. How can I apply that to my business? How could that work in my business? Don't think, don't just instantly dismiss it and say, that could never work in my business. But just, how could you make it work? Theoretically. Let's just work on that,
Yeah, and I think his examples and his blueprints and the kind of things that the actual way he built his business doing what he's doing, and actually, page by page explaining that, it's something that you can just take, it may not be the entire process, but actually you can take bits of that element and apply it to your business. And I think that's just so important. And every business owner should be looking out for opportunities everywhere about how they can implement other people's successes within their business. And that's an important thing, I think. Yeah. And that's the intelligent part of those, I think, for business owners, is actually being able to do that.
Yeah. I found it a really strange book. And it's the reason I didn't read it for the first 3 or 4 months after it kept getting recommended to me. It's just so simple. It's just, it's content marketing. It's just creating content for your customers. Not for Google, not for YouTube, not for any of the other platforms, not as marketing bait, but actually to help and educate your customers. And I just thought that's far too simple. But actually, once you listen to the book and you start, again, it gets the old grey cells working. You think, actually, how could I implement that in my business? And there was one of our businesses in particular that I got, I think, about 2 hours into this book, and I thought, oh my God, that business is just so right for that business model. And I was like, right, okay, I need to go back to the beginning and listen to this book again, purely thinking about that business. Because it's the kind of sector whereby it's all smoke and mirrors at the moment. Everyone else, Marcus Sheridan talks about in the book, how much is a swimming pool? That was a question that nobody wanted to answer because, it depends, doesn't it? I can't give you a price, and if I give you a price, I'm going to scare you away. Well, I'm only going to scare the people away who think it costs $3,000 to install a swimming pool, well, they're never going to be your customer. It costs $50,000. Oh my God, does it? Yeah, that's ballpark what I was expecting. Yeah. Okay, right. But it depends. I can make it cheaper. You know, if budget is an issue and you've only got 30,000, you can have a swimming pool that fits. If you've got $250,000 to spend, we can customise it and you can have anything you want. You know, but it explains these are the factors that influence the price. So the sector that this business I'm thinking of that we work in, it is all, well, how much does this cost? No idea, because nobody tells you. And I was chatting to our PR agency about this, and she said, I had a conversation with someone about this the other day, and she went through her notes. And sure enough, she's written down this line that the particular group of people are under no obligation whatsoever to publish their prices. At which point I went, that's brilliant. So all we got to do is tell people what the prices are, and we will just get all the business. We will just clean up, because we're just going to be the company that's open, honest and transparent. Everyone else is going, well, if you want to know how much it is, phone us and we'll send you a brochure, and we'll send a salesman out to talk to you. Whereas we'll just say, if you want to know how much it is, it's ballpark, it's this figure. These are the factors that influence the price. This is what makes it cheaper, this is what makes it more expensive. By the way, if you want to talk to us, here's our phone number. Oh, and by the way, have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And and here's the problems you might fall into. And here's a review of this client. It's amazing, and the stories we're seeing from the 1%ers who've already implemented this. We had Tracy. She put a blog post up about accountancy. How much does a bookkeeper cost? That is now the most popular blog post she's ever had, and that blog post has been live for 4 weeks. John had his best Black Friday ever based on, he just created content. He created YouTube videos for people about, right, here's the offer. You buy this product, you get this one and this one free. I'm going to bundle it together, and it's, he just created videos for each of the products, and this is how the product works. He found that he sold more, and the people who are the customer service on that was a lot less, because what do you know? People no longer had questions because the questions had been answered already.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You tie yourself up with people ringing you and all that sort of stuff. But actually, it's just easy to give the questions up front.
Yeah.
If you answer those questions up front, then no one's going to ask you them because they don't need to anymore. Yeah. And that frees up so much more time to be able to work on the business, do more work, and provide the customer service in wild people that you are getting through the door. Yeah. I love the idea of filtering out those that aren't going to be interested, because not everybody can sell. You're not going to sell everything to everyone.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. That's never possible. There's never likely to happen. So actually, by filtering them out before they even contact you, that's a brilliant idea, because you can concentrate on those then who come through to you, because you already know that they're the people that are going to buy from you, or at least are able to buy from you. And I think that's a fantastic way of doing it. It cuts so much time and effort and all of that out of your processes that you can concentrate on other stuff.
It does.
And that's fantastic.
Because it's not just about selling there. It's about, let's stop people clogging up our customer service with inane questions. So there's a guy I know who analysed his phone calls. So he just listened to lots of phone calls, and then he realised that actually every week he was getting something like 20 to 25 phone calls saying, what's your postcode? Because it was a sort of a family event or family attraction. I want to know how to get there, so I want to put in my sat nav what your postcode is. So their call centres were getting bogged down with people going, what's your postcode? Yeah, the postcode is PL7 blah blah blah. And you go, oh, okay, so all we need to do now is on the website next to the phone number is our sat nav postcode. Oh, what do you know? He's now getting gets maybe 2 a week saying what's your postcode, which means that those customer service staff are now freed up to actually deal with real questions, really.
I was going to say, because by freeing up the calls that are coming into your call centres or your customer service, or you individually if it's you've actually got that more time. But the ones that actually need to come through and talk to you aren't sat in a queue waiting. So actually your user experience is improving, therefore your customer satisfaction is improving, and therefore your business is improving. It's just a win-win-win-win-win.
Absolutely. No, I like that.
Sorry.
So that was
win-win-win-win-win.
That was last week's one. Well done for making it the first one of 2017 that you have actually read.
That's not true, but I'll let you think that.
So the first one for 2018, I already know you're not going to read it.
Okay, good.
It's about 16 hours on audio. It's Principles by Ray Dalio.
I've got a few of those.
You've got some principles, have you?
Just one or two.
Okay, you're a very principled person.
No, just one or two.
Now, this is another book that has been on my radar for a month or two, and I keep hearing really, really good stuff about it. There was a thread I was following on Facebook the other day about people's favourite book of 2017. Principles by Ray Dalio kept coming up. Ray Dalio, for those who don't know him, is the founder of Bridgewater Associates, which is basically the world's largest hedge fund. He's got something like $150 billion of assets under management, and he created that from nothing. His net worth is something like $17 billion, and he's sort of joined up for the Giving Pledge, which is the thing that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have started, whereby he's pledged that over his lifetime he will give away half of his net worth. Obviously, Warren Buffett's given away 99% of his net worth, so Ray Dalio isn't as good as Warren Buffett. But it's interesting because this is a book from an investor, and I class myself as an investor who runs businesses. So many people they'll listen to this and say, oh, it's a book by an investor. I run businesses. That doesn't apply to me. Any business is an investment. You are the shareholder of that business. Doesn't matter whether that business is British Aerospace or Bob's Cake Shop. You are the shareholder. You are the primary shareholder. You are an investor. And the way that Ray Dalio markets this book is ways of successfully dealing with reality to get what you want out of life. That to me doesn't say anything about investment. That says to me about using principles and rules to basically get by in life, to succeed, whether that is in investments. Is Ray Dalio the world's best investor? No, that's Warren Buffett. Is he the world's second best investor? Well, is he or is he a fantastic businessman? All right, he's very good at investing people's money, but that's what he does. Mm-hmm. What he's actually done is he's created a massive business. He's created $17 billion worth of net worth, the majority of which is in the company that he owns, the business that he runs. Yes, I'm sure he's got plenty of shares and stocks and lots of other investments going on. I'm sure he's got several $1 billion worth of investments, but I will bet the majority of his net worth is in the company that he owns, the company that he runs. Mm-hmm. So that's my book of the month for next month. I can't wait to get into it, but I've got to get through this one first. For those on audio, I'm sorry you're not going to see this, but Tribe of Mentors arrived on Christmas Day. This is the sequel to Tim Ferriss's mammoth book, which took me 4 months to get through last year, Tools of Titans. And it's just as thick. Is it just as thick? It's not as thick. It's only 589 pages. I think Tools of Titans was 700 odd. So I should be finished with that by Easter.
Yeah, Easter.
Yeah. So I've got to get through that. I've got to get through Ray Dalio's 16 hours of principles. But I'm really looking forward to that because of the recommendations I've had. I think nothing intrigues me more than lots of people from different spheres and different sectors and different networks recommending the same book. Mm-hmm. Which normally means I either love it or hate it. Another book I'm just coming to the end of now, Sapiens. Have you read Sapiens?
No.
Cool. You may enjoy it, you may not. I've not enjoyed it as much as I thought I would.
Oh, right.
It's one of those books everyone recommends. Everyone says it's brilliant. It's New York Times bestseller, over 10 million copies sold. Mm-hmm. Everyone raves about it. It's okay. But if you love your history, if you love the human evolution, it's probably the best book on the subject you'll find. Just not for me.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Not all books are for me either.
Exactly. But so now it's time for the book of the year. So
2017 book of the year.
2017 book of the year.
Okay.
Now I've got a short list here. What's on your short list? Have you got some?
I've got 4.
Okay.
They Ask You Answer, which we've talked about at thing, because that, it just, I think it's a mind-blowing kind of like, that's so easy, let's get it done. It's actionable, easy to do, drive your business forward, excellent.
Yep.
Seen examples of it happening in 1%. Fantastic. So there you go, that's that one. Start with why. You've never got into Simon Sinek at all, have you?
I watched the like 2-minute clip from the TED Talk with the circles. I'm like, yeah, okay, got it. The book's just like a 20-hour version of that.
It probably is, to be fair. Yeah, I think the TED Talk does sum it all up very nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I use that principle lots of times. I was taking you back to why Relay is becoming quite successful in Plymouth and what I'm kind of doing to achieve that, and that's down to the why. I've got a story which everybody can relate to. Those that have been touched by cancer in any way whatsoever will relate to what I tell them and how I tell them, and then the motivation and all that comes from me and all whatever else is why it's doing particularly well.
Yeah.
And that also really starts with the why I'm doing that, and the why I help people, the why, all of those things, and it transpires throughout my life, if you like, or in every sort of sector of my life. And actually, I didn't realise that was the reason until I read the book. So that was kind of like a revelation back, if that makes sense. Kind of learnt that lesson, but actually didn't realise it was a lesson to be learnt. Cool. He explained it, and as you say, the TED Talk is really good, worth a watch, and that explains what you don't need to waste your time reading the book. The book's okay. I mean, it's all right. But it does give examples. That's the good thing about the book. It takes it from his point of view, but also Apple and Microsoft and all of the other ones as well. So the book does kind of lead out examples which he didn't perhaps put into the 2-minute TED Talk or whatever it was. That was there. And A Marvellous Reputation by Lucy Matthews. That to me has been a fantastic book. And one thing that I got taken away from it, if you like, and that is, PR is not press release, which is what I've always thought it is, and it's kind of the guys that you go to a PR agency to get press releases out, and that's kind of what the PR kind of meant. I knew it was public relations, I know that, but actually it means much more than that. It's just literally getting other people to talk about you, and that can be through any kind of like ways and that. And she's got some great examples in her book as well about how that's worked for her and how that can work in your businesses as well. And that's kind of like that's the kind of thing, and we've seen it work from the book launch to whatever else really ourselves. So so Lucy Matthews, Marvellous Reputation. Start with Why, Simon Sinek. They Ask You Answer, Marcus Sheridan. And my last book, Big Ideas for Small Businesses. If you haven't read that one by John Lammerton, then that's again packed full of little tidbits that you can take away and put them into your business and watch your business grow. If you do nothing else, then that's the book you need to read from this year.
Certainly it's the book I've read more than any other this year. Mainly proofreading.
I mean, that's not me being corny, that's me generally. That is, it's got so many bits in there which you can take away and you read. So if you haven't seen that already, you haven't had a chance to read it, then put that on your book list for 2018, because you'll only grow your business, grow.
Oh, thank you very much, mate. So my head isn't going to make it out of here today after being picked up like that, so that's very good, thank you very much. So my book of the years... so I've got a little shortlist. Tools of Titans has to be there. The fact that I spent 3 or 4 months of the year reading it means it has to be there as one of the books of the year. That was Tim Ferriss, by the way. They Ask You Answer are also there, purely based on it was just so impactful, and I can honestly say that's changed the strategy and the direction I'm taking at least one of our businesses, and I've seen it happening with so many other people. I know it's not one of these books that you just read it and go, that's a nice book. We've actually seen people changing their businesses as a result of that. Finding My Virginity, the new Richard Branson autobiography, the last 20 years since the end of the first book. Very interesting. Again, not as actionable, but inspirational. I think if you are looking at aiming big in any way and having loads of fun whilst you do it, then the guy who kite surfs with naked women on his back at his private island in the British Virgin Isles is probably the guy you want to emulate, isn't it? Oh, whilst also planning to travel into space. Shoe Dog, Phil Knight, Nike founder. That was the one in the summer we read. Really, again, very inspirational. The story of someone who succeeded despite not really having any skills or being good at anything. He seemed to somehow succeed against all the odds, so I really like that one. And my last one on the shortlist is Open which is Andre Agassi's autobiography.
Okay.
Now, I'm not into tennis in any way, and this comes back to what we were saying earlier about not being shut off to, well, I don't like tennis, so why would I listen to a tennis autobiography? The lessons in there about being driven and about practiced, purposeful practice, and about actually wanting to succeed at something. Now, for Andre Agassi's father, that was having his children succeed at tennis. But also finding happiness. And I think this was the key thing for Andre Agassi, because he hated tennis. He was the world's best at something that he hated. And that real dichotomy between I hate it, but I'm really good at it, seeing him being pulled in those different directions, and also the unfortunate that he happened to be good at tennis during the era that Pete Sampras was around, who was just phenomenally good at tennis, because Andre Agassi would have been one of the world's greats had Sampras not constantly beating him into second place.
Right, yeah.
But it's, really, really interesting. It's honestly worth a read. If you're into tennis or not, even if you're not into sport, if you want to just succeed and you want to get an insight into doing something that you actually want to be doing and enjoying what you do, Open by Andre Agassi, I recommend that one. But I've got to pick one, and so I think my one book of the year is Big Ideas for Small... No, it's not, sorry. No, my one it's Tools of Titans.
I read a lot of that book.
Yeah.
I didn't read it all.
You don't need to read it cover to cover.
I haven't got to the end, which is what I'm going to say, actually. It's because it's like short snippets. I mean, this is a guy who's got a very successful podcast and has interviewed lots and lots of people, and all of those are in here. This is repurposing content for a masterclass in repurposing content. So every single episode, the Titans are those people he's interviewed and the tools that they've used to be able to get where they are. So actually be able to read it, and that's in different sections as well, isn't it? So you've got your health, you've
healthy,
got
wealthy, and wise.
Wealthy and wise. So so all of those, and there's lots of...
Was it healthy, wealthy, and foreign travel, isn't it?
Something along those lines, yeah. But it's, and they are snippets, and you can just read one if you don't like the look of one because it's talking about green food, then move on. If you don't like one about there's something about making your body anaerobic, wasn't it, sort of thing. There's a lot of talk about that as being a way of keeping fit. If you didn't like that, that's not for you, you can move on. So it may be 800, 900 pages, whatever it was, but you can thin out that quite a lot if it's not for you. So Tools of Titans, although it's a big chunk of thing, it's a good doorstop, it's a good paperweight, but it's actually...
Now that he's got Tribe Momentum,
it is a
you
good
can get
weight.
one in one hand, one in the other, and you can do like bicep curls with them.
I'm going to be a little bit more healthier. So it is, whilst it sounds like a big book, it is, but it's not War and Peace. You don't have to read it cover to cover. You can dip in.
What I would say, the way I read it was I did read it cover to cover with a highlighter in hand. So I highlighted key bits that I knew I wanted to come back to and I knew I wanted to take away. I've then gone through it a second time, just read the highlighted passages. It's over there now, and you can see there's like post-it notes sticking out the top of it, so it's full of notes, and you can always tell that's a good book is when it's covered in scribbles, it's covered in notes, and it's well thumbed. So that book constantly comes out. I would say barely a week goes by that I don't refer to it in some way.
We've referred to it in podcasts all the way through this year, to be fair.
We did a whole podcast on it, didn't we?
Episode
28, something like that.
We have referred back to it. So Tools of Titans, very good. If you fancy something a little bit lighter and something that's got actionable points, then Big Ideas for Small Businesses. Marvelous Reputation, or They Ask You Answer, is my starred book, to be fair.
Episode 27 was our 14 takeaways from Tools of Titans. So have a listen to that one if you want to know a bit more about what we took about. That's my book. What was your one? What were you going for?
They Ask You Answer.
They Ask You Answer. Good choice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Before we sign off, what's coming ahead? What's next year? This year, rather, holding in store for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know? No plans for anything?
Well, I've got my resolutions, which I'm going to aim towards, and we're going to move things forward in those directions because that's important to me.
You got a target for your cancer research this year?
We're going to do £100,000 this year. Going to raise £100,000 for a relay. That'll be the thing. That's £250,000 then I'd have raised.
So if anyone is listening that can help you in some way, how can they help you? Who are you looking to work with to help you achieve that 100k goal?
Well, obviously sponsorship to actually host the event, because the event itself is fairly expensive. It's a 24-hour walk around Brickfields in Plymouth, which is an athletics track. People in teams of 8 to 15 people all take it in turns to walk around the track. So last year we had 30 teams take part. Love a few more of those. So if there's anybody local to Plymouth who'd like to come and join us, then that's something which come along, because it's a lot of fun. You can build your network because actually everybody there for the same reason, so they're all happy, friendly, and sharing. And to be fair, from a business point of view, we've had lots of different people talking about what we're doing as well. Just by talking to those people, because it comes from all walks of life. So it's 24 hours, that's why we're walking, but it's fundraising all the year round. So if anybody can actually donate some money, that's a fantastic idea as well. Come and find me on Facebook. There'll be a link that you can donate to Relay for Life Plymouth. That would be good. But if anybody wants to do some sponsorship, there's lots of opportunities, from the stage to the survivors tent. So we invite lots of survivors for an afternoon reception, champagne and afternoon tea. So that's kind of thing needs to be covered in cost, as well as all the logistics. So if anybody can help with any of those things, tap me up on Facebook.
There we go.
Jason J. Brockman.
Fantastic. My big thing for next year is the audiobook. So it's happening. We've got a publisher lined up, and Big Ideas for Small Businesses will be released on audio in 2018. Not sure if I'm going to be reading it. I would like to.
Is there an audition process?
I do have to audition for my own book. I was like, well, I do know the content, But yeah, I don't think that my little West Country piratey lilt is quite what the publishers were hoping for.
Well, they're not. Perhaps they'll have two versions.
Yes.
The better version and the one that's professional.
And the one that's professional, yeah. One of my read by some BBC presenter somewhere, yes.
And now for the news.
Cool. So yeah, hopefully certainly by spring 2018, I would like to think that you better listen to the audiobook.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. So all that remains for us to say is have a fantastic 2018, guys. And yeah, we will see you in the February edition, which is, unsurprisingly, next month.
In February.
It is. Don't forget, as always, you can get the show notes at bigidea.co.uk/podcast, and come join us in the Facebook group, which is bigidea.co.uk/Facebook. Good.
That's them. Very good.
See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So there we are, another episode in the can. How was it for you? Please let us know. However you listen to these podcasts, please leave a review on that platform. Let us know what we can do better, what you like, what you don't like, and how we can improve to make this show even better for you. We'll see you next time.